Hey guys, very good morning. Uh, you can see I'm just standing in front of all the Royal Enfield trials which have been put outside for all the riders that have been invited. We are going to Kolar to test these bikes, experience these bikes on the off-road tracks. I'm sure it'll be very exciting, and I would be updating you guys with videos and my experience with the Royal Enfield trials, bullet trials. See you there.
So what you see here is the forest route to test the off-roading capabilities of this bike. So you would see in the video as well, we rode on a big rock bike park in Kolar. So to give you the background, we came all the way from HSR Royal Enfield, Lalbagh to Kolar in order to test off-roading capabilities of this bike. And we chose the Big Rock Bike Park, which is very popular because of the famous rider C.S. Santosh. So to give you an idea about this bike, this is basically the Royal Enfield Trials 500 that I rode. Now this bike was an entrant back in the days during the war. They had a lot of trials, the Scottish trials, the British trials, and all that. So Royal Enfield took part in one of the trials. Its trials was nothing but a race, a competition that in those days. And Royal Enfield was an entrant to one of these trials. So the bike that was made specifically for these trials was more or less the same as what you see right now on the Classic 500. Of course, technologically it was not that advanced, but cosmetically it looked more or less like this Classic 500 trial. So this is where the Trials 500 came out from. Now, to let you know about the bike, the engine is the same as that of a Classic 500. You would not feel much of a difference, but you'll definitely feel the difference in the way this bike rides, because a lot of weight has been shed from this bike by doing a lot of cosmetic changes to this bike. Like the mud guards are way lighter than what you have on the Classic 500. The seat position, the overall geometry, the pillion seat is not available. All these changes have made this bike really light, and it rides amazingly well. I would say the torque, it has got the same torque number as that of a Classic 500, but the difference here is that since the weight of this bike is so low, you would definitely feel the difference. The torque feels much more higher as compared to the Classic 500. So yeah, I mean, if you talk about the off-road capabilities, it's the tires are cubical. I mean, you have got, that's what you say basically. You have got off-roading tires as stock in this bike, and it rides amazingly well. The torque is just brilliant, which adds to the off-roading capabilities of this bike. Now, we also rode this bike on the way back from Kolar to Bangalore. On the highway, you would not feel much of a difference because it's the same long stretch and you would feel just like a Classic 500 does. But where it actually makes a difference is when you ride this bike through the traffic. I mean, I rode this bike in day-to-day Bangalore traffic where you have heavy traffic, and the torque and the ABS is so amazing that you can cut through the traffic, you can accelerate and decelerate as you want, and the bike reacts exactly the same way. uh, it reacts brilliantly to your feedback. Actually, the way you want to handle the spike will give you the same reaction. So that's what I found exciting about this bike. Definitely, when you come out from the traffic and when you have ridden through the traffic and when you come to a halt, it will bring a smile to your face. uh, it's Anybody who rides this bike in general would definitely say that, it's the same as that of a classic 500, no doubt about it. But you should remember that when you ride this bike through its paces, that's when you get the difference. That's when you know what this bike is capable of. The engine might be the same, but the cosmetic changes on this bike have really brought a difference to it. The vibrations are way lower, and it just accelerates to 80, 90 without any effort. So I'm talking, keeping in mind a Royal Enfield Classic 500 bike. So I'm not comparing it to any other bike which goes to 80, 90 effortlessly, but I'm just comparing it to a Classic 500, which definitely is not a bike which you can accelerate and you can just ride it like any other normal Honda or a Yamaha. So I'm talking in those lines. But this bike is really amazing and I loved it. I definitely would want to ride it more in the traffic, in through the off roads, through the forest trails. It's just brilliant. I loved it. So yeah, that's my viewpoint about this bike.